This is Gail. Welcome to our live stream tonight. Yay! It's Saturday night. So, where else are we going to be than right here live on this channel? So, we've got two people in tonight. We've got a ton of things to talk about. Oh, my stars. What a stream this is going to be. All right. Things to talk about. By request, I have had the idea of having a weekly travel tip. So I'm going to be doing that. First, I need to ask you to please subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. It's that button right down there, down below. So hit that. Don't forget to hit the bell also to get those notifications. Make sure you have your notifications turned on because that's the magic combination that unleashes the box so you can have all of the latest videos and travel tips and product reviews and the live streams, and the list goes on. So definitely click that. I also want to straight up tonight start with some shout outs, and I want to say hello. Who all do we have in here? I know we've already got a couple of folks in. So we have got Peter Parker in. So hello, Peter. And looks like we also have Gloria. Okay, Gloria's not in. All right. I guess we have a come and go relationship, Gloria. That's okay. All right. So Gloria says ciao coming in and ciao coming out. So ciao, Gloria. I hope you're doing well. On that theme, ciao, Peter. I hope you're doing well. All right. So let's see here. We got that started. I'm gonna do the travel tip in just a minute. Gloria said that she is having raviolis for dinner too, by the way. That just made me hungry. So I've got an update about the service dog. I talked to the agency, so we're going to do that. Also, a little health challenge has come up. So I'm going to be going through that, also talking about that. Obviously, we're just going to do some chit-chat, have the update, and I'll talk about my special live stream. That is, whoops, I just knocked the camera one. Special live stream coming up on Monday. I do have to send a message to somebody to remind her that I'm on live. I told her I would and forgot. So that's an oops. All right. And let's see. Super chat shout outs. And we've got Busy Lady in the house. So hello, Busy Lady. Hope things are going great. So that's what we've got going on tonight. Well, let me get started with the shout outs, and we'll go with that first. I just want to recognize the folks that have been supported me, that gave me a donation last week, and that is Carry On, Jeff and John, Candy, the Wee Service Dog, Tonya Lambert, and Sparkle by Monica. I hope I got everybody. That's what I had on my list, but as y'all know, sometimes I'm guilty of talking and not writing everything down. So we got that going on. And let's see, somebody else just came in the chat room. Woo! Granny Monster. Let's get this party started. Hi, Granny. Welcome. It's good to see you again. Saying hello. So, okay, let's go into the travel tip first, because that was requested and it was from Gloria. So what her idea is that since I have a travel related channel, that near the top of the live streams, I would do a weekly travel tip. So we actually sat down and made quite a long list of ideas here. I can't say my mind just started going and I kept writing down. So you all know how that goes. So we've got a long list. I think it's like 105 travel tips or something. So we are going to go into that. In fact, I'm going to pull it up so you get an idea of some of the things that we're going to be talking about from time to time. I got two screens going on here. Hold on. Okay. All right. And we all want to make sure that we all behave tonight, please. This is a PG channel, which I'd like to lean a little bit more on the G toward, just because that's me. All right. So, some of the things that we're going to be talking about. I'm going to share this screen. And I'd like to know how you all have been. So, definitely put that in and let me know. Oops, wrong button. It's that kind of day. You know it? All right. Trail tips. So I've got a whole long list here, and I'm going to be putting some up on my blog. I hope to do that weekly. I'm not going to promise that. But some of them I hope are going to be a little different than some that you've thought of. So that's my list. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about is having a battery for your phone, because chances are if you're traveling, you will be at some point or another, your phone is going to go down. Mine does anyway. So I have got two batteries. And let's see, Candy the wee service dog is in here. So hello, Candy. Thank you, Granny Monster. I appreciate that. Woo! Yay! I want to hear all about that. And Fizzy too. Okay. And hi, Candy. So, okay. That is awesome. Welcome, welcome. So I've got two different kinds of batteries. And really they're for two different situations. This I got like at Walmart. And I think I paid somewhere between $6 to $10. I really don't remember that much for sure. I was able to do it on an impulse purchase near payday. But the nice thing about this is it's got two ports. The not very nice thing is that you have to have electricity to charge it. And this one takes one of those old-fashioned micro USBs. My phone has switched over to a USB-C. So, little challenging sometimes there. But overall, this has been a great battery pack. It's small. It's lightweight. I can stick it in my purse, my backpack. I don't have to worry. It's so cool. This one is a beast. But I freaking love it. This is a Feely solar-powered battery charge. And in full sun, this takes about 5 hours to charge. So my big travel tip is, of course, the batteries. But you got to think about where you're going to be and what your situation is. So if you're out hiking or driving around, it's really easy to put this in the window or put it on your backpack and just let it charge. Downside is it's thick, so it's a lot bigger than this battery, and it weighs a lot more because you got the solar panels. This will charge two devices, and you do also have the option to use that little micro USB. So I love this if I'm traveling and I need something bigger than this, but it does weigh down my backpack. So if I'm like going to go walking around a town or something like that, then I'll carry this little one. But if I'm doing something that I need more power, or if I've got my husband's tablet and I know I'm going to have to be charging my phone, and his tablet, then I'll take this one. So my big travel tip there is to have the battery that you need that'll fit your needs. Obviously, this one's a little more expensive. I won it online. which is nice, but I am going to link it down below in the description box from Amazon, but it's around $45. Let's see, Fairy Ann is here. So, hey, Fairy Ann, I hope you're doing well. What did you put in your chicken salad? Who else had chicken? Oh, you mean the one I made today? Or did somebody else make some? What I made actually today is just I put in the chicken, the egg, celery, sometimes some pickle relish, and a little bit of mayonnaise to stir it up with. And that's all I do. Some people put onion in it, but I've got an allergy to onions, so that's a no-go for me. What do you all like to put in it? Toss me your ideas. Busy saying yummy. So good. And I'm going to ask that question. Did you click like? Don't forget to do that. I'm just going to type that in. I'm going to leave it up on the poll wherever it went, which I don't see it. If it doesn't show up in a second, somebody let me know. It should pop up. So don't forget to do that. And let's see. Fairy Anna says, our chicken salad is from Keto Recipe, 1 cup chicken, celery, mayo. I add pecans tomorrow and put them in cucumber boats. That sounds really good. That sounds really good. I like the idea of cucumber boats. I would never have thought about that. And I bet I can take that. I can probably pack that in the cooler or put it in the fridge and take it with me. And I like, okay. Tonya says she must have had the time wrong. What time? What time? It was 7. Or do you mean Monday's time? Which brings me to Monday. Monday, I'm having an extra long live stream, which some of you all have requested that I stay on a little longer anyway. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to be on Monday starting at noon and going to 10. Obviously, I'm going to have a couple of 5-minute breaks here and there. Tanya's agreed to be on. Laurel has agreed to be on. My husband's agreed to be on. Stellar Piper's agreed to be on. But I'm also looking for more people who want to be on. And I'm not talking about for the whole 10 hours, but a few minutes here and there. You can introduce your channels, talk about what you do. And I'm going to be welcoming drop-in guests. It's all on StreamYard. So all you have to do if you come and you have a few minutes and you want to talk about your channel and so forth, just ask for a link and I'll send it to you. And let's see. So it should be fun. My hope is to boost the watch time on the channel, but also I want to make sure that I direct any ad revenue that if YouTube in its infinite wisdom decides to put ad revenue on the stream, which is always questionable, then all of that's going to go to the Service Dog Fund. And with your help on Service Dog, if you have not seen my big announcement in the Facebook group about it or on Instagram, I'm going to pull it up right now. I don't have, this is where I need a drum roll, So, okay. In y'all's minds, pretend that this is a drum roll. Da-da-da-da-da. I wish Stellar was here. She could do that for me. All right. Ta-da! I am so stoked about this and so excited because the dog is $5,000 and I got on the wait list at the end of next month. The end of the next month a year ago. So that's where we are. We are at the $3,000.63 point on the Service Dog Fund. And I am super, super, super stoked because this is a great place to be. At this stage of fundraising, oh my gosh. So this includes the payments, of course, that my husband and I have made, as well as you all. And it's been a lot of you all. And could not do this without you. So super stoked, super excited. I talked to Cares yesterday. We had a really nice, super nice conversation. And so we talked about what kind of dog that I need and some of the things that I need the dog to do, such as counterbalancing, which is when we go up steps and the dog stands still and just puts a little bit of pressure on the tension on the leash. Not where I'm like pulling up on him, but just having enough tension that I can navigate steps a little better. Seizure response, diabetic response, retrieve is a big deal. Because if I drop something, like if I drop this pen and it goes flying, if it goes like under a table or under a desk or under a chair or any place where I can't reach it easily, Tomlin would like scoot in and get down there and get it for me. And I shake sometimes. So if it was let's say it was a prescription bottle that I dropped, I wound up dropping those with Tomlin so often that he recognized the sound. I didn't have to call him at all, and he would come dashing in. So retrieval's a big deal. And so we had a good conversation about that. It was good. Also, I want to go into the chat room, by the way. Yes, we are going to talk about the trip coming up. And let's see. What a nice thing to do, and hope you folks have fun. We're expecting new animals here and fences so much and so busy, so no clue what I can commit to these days. I got you. And that's why, like, for the live stream Monday, we're keeping it loose. So if somebody comes in and says, hey, I've got 5 minutes, I want to jump on, not a problem. And yes, absolutely busy. It is wow and amazing. And I really appreciate all this because it's going to give me my life back, And, Tonya got her dog from the same place, and it just makes a whole huge difference. I've said before that my husband was less nervous about me going to Alaska with Tomlin than he was me going to Kentucky to see Stellar Piper without a dog. So if I had not had Google location sharing set, he would have driven me crazy, and it felt like he was calling me every 5 minutes anyway. Just saying. So, and Fairy Ann is wishing Granny good luck, and I'm going to second that. Because it's always exciting to get new animals. Picking up stuff off the floor is super helpful for a service pupper to do. Yes. I mean, Stellar can tell you. And thank you. Thank you, Candy. I'm going to make sure I write this down so I can give you a shout out next week. And yeah, I'm super excited about Monday too. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. I agree, Stellar. But yeah, Stellar can tell you about the picking stuff up. And it's really important, like if we're on a trip, like let's say we're in the van and there's like nooks and crannies in the van, and this is part of the reason why I haven't done that whole solo female travel thing like I like to do. And that's because if I drop something, I have a really hard time getting it. So part of the time, if it goes, especially if it goes like toward underneath the bed a little bit, then I have to like actually get down on my stomach completely and try to reach for it. And then anybody that's 40 and up can tell you it's a lot harder to get up out of the floor than it is to get down. So little crazy on that. Oh, wow. Tonya just hit me with a $5 super sticker. So you're amazing. And I showed you all last week about what the YouTube payout was, and we talked about it being, you have to do $100 before they'll like cough up the money. And so I was able to put that whole 129 on the service dog, and that is how we're at the $3,000 mark, which is a big thing. And I did ask them when I was on the phone yesterday, that I asked if it was possible, like if I got the service dog paid a little early, was I still going to have to wait the full 2 years? And they said yes, that most likely they would, but it kind of depends on what's going through the pipeline. So one of the things that I have to do pretty soon, by Monday, is to measure and make sure what size service dog I need. I have to stand up, put my hands to my side, and I got to have my husband measure from my wrist to the floor and call them back and give them that number, so we can start with the selection process and stuff of getting a service doggo that's the right height, considering like the harness and everything. So that's a big deal. We also talked about service dog breeds, and I told him that my first choice would be a golden retriever, because they're commonly used for service dogs. They're intelligent dogs. I have talked to several people who've had golden retrievers, and they have traveled really well. So obviously, a service dog that travels well is a very big deal for me. So there's that issue. Plus, then my second choice is a lab, which also is supposed to travel well. So I hope. So golden, lab, and then they've got two other breeds. One, they're getting into the program now. The other one, they haven't worked with that much. But the breed that they are working with some is a Bernese Golden Doodle combination. So she said that they're great service dogs. I did talk to someone in the store one day who had a Bernese Mountain Dog for a service dog, and she just about has me sold on the dog. But they have a super short lifespan, and it's, like I said, it's what's going through the pipeline. So that's my update there on future service doggo. And there we go. And Tonya, yes, thank you again. And yeah, busy lady, definitely worried. Hubby, bless his heart. What can we say? And Tonya is saying hello. Candy, you, Gail, and I should live stream together. Not tomorrow. It's Monday. Monday. I hope I put Monday on the alert. If I didn't, I'll have to change it, because that would be bad. Let me see. Oh, darn it. The alert for the live stream Monday is not showing up. So I will go in and make sure it says Monday. But Monday, beginning at 12 noon, right here. Travel, come get Archer and I will go with you. Sunday. Who knows? Okay, if we can do this. The van only has one bed, so that'll mean going to hotels. Okay, busy. Candy is saying that she has vertigo, so bending down, even from a sitting position, she has a flare up. I can speak that language. Tonya, of course, has an English lab, the cutie pie named Archer. Okay. That's all good. I was just about freaking out there. Granny says, well, Gail and all, there's still chores needing done before the sundown. Love y'all. Have a nice weekend. You too, Granny Monster. You too. And thank you for coming in. Stellar says, have a good night. I understand that. So, yeah, that's where I am, with the service dog. So, super stoked. Live stream, super live stream Monday. Let's see. Travel update. All right. The update on travel is I went to New Mexico to see my daughter, and then we went over to Arizona. But the bad thing is I lost some of my footage. So I'm going to do like some photos up on Instagram instead of all the videos that I had planned. But don't worry, I still have several videos, and they're going to be coming out. And get this, you all. We were going through Texas and trying to find a campsite. It was my husband and I, and we took the RV this time. And we were having trouble finding a campsite. And then God provides, right? Big time, huge. We found a campground that was completely free in the middle of this really small town, Tatum, Texas. Not only was it free, but we had full hookups: water, electricity, and sewer. And they'll let you stay 3 days, but of course we only stayed the one. So it was a free campsite in Tatum, Texas. I found that by just doing a search, free campsites in the state that we were going to, and boom, that one popped up after a while. It took some searching, but we were having trouble finding even a campsite that had space available that we could pay for. So stumbling upon this and finding out that we could have utilities and stuff and that it was all free was totally crazy. And right across from that is a park with all kinds of little, obviously they had a playground and stuff, but they also had like a horseshoe pit, but they had rings, and the rings were just out there. So yeah, I didn't do too well in that game, but we had the free campsite and that was really cool. So I've got a video coming up about it and some various other things. So we went to a museum, the New Mexico Western Aviation Museum, or Western New Mexico Aviation Museum, I think it was. And that was really neat. We stopped at a town also, Continental Divide, New Mexico, Petrified Forest, Arizona. And all of these places that I just mentioned were free. We also stopped in Birmingham, Alabama at the national park there, Vicksburg, Mississippi, National Park there. The monument, memorial rather, for victims of lynching in the South that I did a couple of days ago. We stopped there, but all of those were free stops. Super cool. So we'll be talking about those also, and it's a great way to stretch your dollars. So that would be my travel update. And next week, I'm going to be busy a couple of days. So I'm going to get into that in just a minute. Let me get back to the chat. The chat. Tonya understands. Elbow cough from Granny. And Tonya says, I have that problem. Archer braces really well. Yeah, it's going to be a big thing. He taught himself to alert to my friend Ann's diabetes. And that's a big deal. He is a smart boy. I'm going to agree with Stellar on that. If a dog will alert, service dogs are smart anyway, no matter what size they are. Candy service dog is really, really small, but very, very smart. And Archer is a little bit bigger and very, very smart. But when they can alert, that's just something special. And that's a smart dog that has a really good bond with its human. So, update on her friend Anne. There's cancer in her lymph nodes. We go on the 2nd to find out about chemo. So, continue to pray. It's stage 1 pancreatic cancer. Okay. Definitely, we will be in praying. And Tonya says, tell Cares to have your dog ring the bell to go outside and to wear boots. We did discuss boots. I didn't think about the bell, but I will now that you brought it up. And if he doesn't, I'm not as worried about that because that's something I can teach the dog. Yep. Yay, Busy's back. And let's say Candy is saying that, or Laurel, which is Candy, the wee service dog, is saying that Candy responded to my best friend when she was having an anxiety attack in the theater. She did right after responding to my anxiety flare up. That is so cool. And it's interesting how, dogs, they adopt your family into the pack and your friends or family members. And I love that they know how to do that. Glad you're back. Hubby is working on my car, then I can go shopping. So, yay! All right, spill it. What kind did you get? Type it in there. I want to know. And Tonya says, Archer taught himself to alert to my asthma by hearing the change in my lungs. Tomlin did that. I really think that it's because, well, with me anyway, my lungs have that wheezing sound, so they kind of whistle. And I think he picked up on it before I did. I asked for a really big dog. Yeah, we talked about size being important. And that's the thing about the Bernese Mountain Dogs. They're big. They are some of the largest dogs are Bernese Mountain Dogs. Not to the point of being like, what do they call those? The St. Bernards. But they're big. Archer learned in a few days. Good. What do dogs do for people when they have an anxiety attack? She's asking. Well, the ones that I've known of, they would do things like put pressure on your leg or put their head on your hand or put their head in your lap just to help you ground and remind you that you're there. And they will kind of block off people. If you're having an anxiety attack in public, let's say you're standing up or you have to sit down on the pavement or floor, then they also, kind of act as a barrier. And some are actually trained to be a barrier. Now, I know you all, Candy, Tonya, jump in because there's different ways of training. So type in your intel there. Okay. Busy Lady. It's a Ford Focus. He has one too, LOL. We're nerds. That is cool. Matching types of cars. That is cool. Candy will also alert to my neuropathy in either leg or both. She will nose bump me to let me know I need to sit down. It's good. And Tanya's saying, Busy Archer helps me by keeping others away during an anxiety attack and something called deep pressure therapy. You can sometimes have your dog trained to help you out as a service dog. If you've got anxiety or whatever, talk to your vet and get the name and suggestion of a trainer. You don't have to go through an agency, and for something specific like that, you don't have to go through a huge number of classes most of the time. It may take some one-on-one with the trainer, but a session or two may do it. So talk to him. Candy says she knows a person who has a Great Pyrenees crossbred with a poodle to reduce shedding. Yeah, Grand Pyrenees are supposed to be great, but I've heard from a Grand Pyrenees owner that they can also be a little territorial, and I don't. That makes me nervous. But your friend that has one, how is it with other people? And Tonya is talking about the deep pressure therapy here. She's saying that that's him laying on her legs, and it helps her not to get lost in flashbacks. Archer was trained to be a barrier at all times. And that's a huge help, you know, to be the barrier, to help people stay away while still be able to ground you with the DPT. Let's see. And Busy Lady says, my little Chi does comfort me when I am stressed. She's a snuggler. Aww. Snuggle pups are the best. And a lot of service dogs are snuggle pups just because of that bond. And Tanya's saying he watches my back and alerts to seizures about 30 minutes before and 15 minutes before asthma attack. There you go. And she says Archer is great. Stellar is asking if that's Great Pyrenees, Great Poodlies. So, I don't know. If anybody can answer her, no clue. Tony is also saying when we're in a crowd, he sits where people have to go around me and can't approach both in front and behind me. That's awesome. Because I personally get kind of weirded out with the idea that somebody's behind me and like they're watching me. So I sort of have this whole social anxiety thing going on, or situational anxiety going on. And that's been helpful. Hubby's here.
Hello.
Hi, hubby. You want to come in and say hi?
Sure.
If you don't want to, we're going to make you anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Hello, YouTube.
Here, I'll scoot over
Okay.
so you can bend down.
Hi.
Hey. He's been out. He's been at this huge conference and is probably brain dead, I bet.
Yeah, pretty much. All-day meetings are difficult, but we got a lot done. It was good.
But you're going to help me on my all-day meeting, right? Monday?
Yeah, sure.
The live stream?
Sure, yeah. Of course
You
I am.
said so.
Yeah, I totally remember that.
Hey, pass me that certificate, please.
Which one? Oh, this one.
The one about my
Yeah.
potential career change that I'm investigating. I'll show him that in a minute.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. We got to kick him out. Let's see. Candy says, Candy gets up on my chest and lays against my chest to slow my breathing down. And if that doesn't work, then Candy will lick my face. This is something she knows she's not allowed to do this normally. And see, that's the thing. Yes, poodles are used quite frequently as service dogs because they are very smart and they are trainable and they like to cuddle. There's always going to be some exceptions to the rule, but that's in general. Yeah, it could be. But to go ahead and bring that out as a service dog may be worth those lessons. They waved at you, honey. He says, oh, that's nice. See, speaking of poodles, I'd forgotten that, Stellar, so thanks for bringing that in. Yeah. They're sweet dogs. Yeah, I have to, I just, my whole, PTSD alert, hypervigilance just kicks in sometimes. And I will say that it has been very helpful a couple of times when I was at a large city with friends. I'm not going to mention her name, but I was with a friend one day, very large city, probably the largest city in the Northeast. And we were walking downtown in the Times Square area, and she has her purse in a backpack style bag, and it's slung on her shoulder. Now, if you ever go to a large city, I'm going to toss out this one, and I guess you could call it my second travel tip. But if you ever go to a large city, or if you're in a smaller city and you're in an area that may be like a known pickpocket area, guess what? The first thing is that you don't want to do. Just take a wild guess. It is, do not put something in your back pocket, and do not put your travel bag with your billfold and ID and credit cards and so forth in it and put it on your back. You want to make sure you have those things in either your front pockets or a messenger bag that's pulled around to your front that has a strap and you can put your arm on it. So don't put it on your back. But she forgot. I tried to tell her this. She was not used to being in a big city, and she forgot. And my hypervigilance had already kind of kicked in because, you don't always want to act like a tourist when you're in a city. I mean, look at all the different things, but don't stand there gawking. Don't go, wow, that's big. Look at that, and stuff like that, because that automatically screams tourist. But she was doing that. So I started noticing that this guy was walking behind us, and I caught him the first time just out of the corner of my eye and noticed him. And then I saw him walking toward my friend, and I looked up and saw him and nodded. So I made that eye contact because he knew that I saw him, and then he kind of backed off. Well, then I noticed him coming up to her, and I just put myself right in between him and said, let's go stand on the edge of the street, hit the curb right here. And she was like, oh, what? Is something wrong? And I'm like, yeah. But she didn't lose her bag. The guy kind of huffed. We all got kind of lucky in that situation. So I was that was one time when it was kind of good to be hyper vigilant. But then, of course, you get off the curb, you go into the nearest store, and you have to really calm down. That was my thing. So anyway, go in and go back. Hey, Dad. Awesome. She likes poodles. They're great dogs. They really are. I can hear the sarcasm in his voice. Yeah, that would be him. Busy says, I'll try to be on Monday, but I have to take Matthew to find his locker and see where his classes are, etc. I'm super nervous for him. Well, I'm glad he gets to go back to school. That is great. Fariana, if you're still here, how is your area handling school right now? Because different areas are doing different things. So Stellar's saying he was a standard poodle. Yeah, they're great. They're also taller, which is nice. So yeah, if Fariana's in, if she wants to type in how the schools are handling in her area, that'd be cool. We could compare. Tonya says Archer's noticed that I don't see well and has decided to learn to move me around ice and dangers in a sidewalk. That's great. And that is so helpful, especially like if you're traveling and you're in areas that you are not familiar with, which is part of the purpose of traveling, then knowing you have that assistance is a tremendous relief to not just you, but everybody else you know. And Tonya says he's learned to get help if she falls. That's great. He is. Candy is saying that the Great Pyrenees are generally not territorial, but they do protect, which is good. That makes me feel better in case I get one. By being bred with a standard poodle, they don't usually have this trait. So, good to know. Gail asked Cares to include that in training. Yeah, we talked about some of that yesterday. And definitely, whatever service dog I get is going to have to be trained to wear booties. Now, Tomlin was not the best at wearing booties at first. It took a while to get him used to it, but finally he did. But, when the pavement's hot, like when I was in Arizona 2 weeks ago, we were looking at almost 100-degree heat. That pavement, which absorbs the heat, is much, 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 much hotter. So, very important to have booties when you're traveling with critters. Okay, Tanya's saying she changed to a backpack and she uses a small luggage lock on it in crowds. Good idea there. And they also make special backpacks that have anti-theft mesh in the bag, so it can't just be sliced open when you are traveling. Because sometimes they'll come up, do the slice, your stuff is gone, you don't even know what's happened, you just feel like you've been bumped. Stellar says, I've got a wallet that fits in my front pocket that I take to work. Anything that doesn't fit in my pocket goes in my laptop bag that I usually carry crossbody style. Perfect. Perfect. Good idea, Stellar. What time does the live stream start on Monday? It starts at 12 noon, which I guess will be 11 your time. But you don't have to be in for the whole thing. Just anybody that wants to. Like I said, if you have 5 minutes, you can come in and say, hey, I want a link. It's a purse, just a bad idea at my job. Gotcha. Candy's saying Candy alerts her to people she doesn't know by looking in the direction the person is coming at. She doesn't let him get within 10 feet. If I'm outside, she doesn't do this inside businesses. That's great. And dogs are like kids. They know they have like an indoor voice and an outdoor voice. I agree. It could be a bigger problem at your job. Yeah. He's in middle school. That is crazy. Who told him he could already be in middle school? Wow. And they have to wear masks. Well, that's a good thing. They just had this thing where a teacher exposed her class to COVID, and now, even though the class wasn't huge so far they said something like 27 people are now positive. So masks are a kind of a necessary evil in our society in some situations, but it's also something that, there is choice. Yeah, I'm with Tonya about getting back in the routine. She's not getting old. Tony says he wasn't trained for that looking back. I should have asked him to train to get help. With Tomlin, when we had Tomlin, it was just the opposite. Now, he was trying to get specific people so that if I fell in the house, I could say, go get Dad or go get Stellar Piper, and he would go do that. But if we were outside, then if I needed help, he would just bark and create a ruckus, because eventually somebody's going to come and just because they want the dog to shut up, which was really great for like being traveling, because one of the times when I went to Alaska, I was just exhausted. So I got my blanket out and we were at a park and we laid down on the blanket and he laid down with me and stayed with me. So it wasn't too much of a problem. I just kept his leash in my hand. But if I'd fallen asleep, obviously the leash would not have been in my hand. So, but we're all individuals, and our dogs get trained and pick up on how to be individuals. Great plans. Archer loves his boots. Well, that's good. No plans yet, but I'll have a few days off from work. Nice. Whoops. Okay, Candy will bark outside if someone is acting suspicious, but she won't do this inside. We'll have a low growl that only I can hear. Aw. Yeah. Tomlin would do like this funny little like low growl half yip, and I knew there was going to be a problem when he did that. That was a great way to alert for danger. Busy's going to go get a tattoo. Do those things hurt? They have just always seemed to me that they would hurt. Tony's going to look into that backpack. It's actually a crossbody messenger bag. I'm going to type it in so we can see it. So the thing about those that have the mesh, I will go ahead and tell you, they're great, but not every place will let you take them in because they can set off security alarms. I actually saw that happen. It was a little nerve-wracking, I think, for the person who had that experience. But, yeah. So, I think I was in Walmart. Anyway, the woman was like, "Oh, it's just my bag. It's just my bag." And security asked her, they're like, "Well, can you charge your phone? Is it electric?" And they were like, "Yes." So that worked out. The other thing about those bags, they're great, but you do have to have a battery. But here's an example of one. And you can see them in different colors. And there's different styles. But, like this guy is using it. I don't know where that picture just went. But anyway, he was using it off to his side. But the idea is you'd pull it around in front of you. And they're not always that big. There are some smaller ones. Let's see. That's actually pretty cute. I might have to put that bag on my list. But you see how it's got the long strap? So you would actually just pull that in front of you. And honestly, you probably need to shorten that strap a little bit to get it more under your arm if you're in a big city. So, yeah, I don't see any carried in like that crossbody style. But anyway, you get the idea. And let's see. Let me go back up. Yeah. Have you not seen those? They are often super cute, but they're in all kinds of styles. And there is a special pocket that's usually inside, and you slip the battery pack in that pocket. The USB cord will go up through a little hole or pouch, whichever it is, and it feeds up through the purse as various different ways. I've seen them go up through the handle, and then you have a way to, looks like a little cigarette pouch, but you put the cigarette pouch, the cord goes up to that, and you put your phone in it, so it's like right here. And some others just are in there, and you just plug your purse into the USB charger. They make backpacks like that, diaper bags, all kinds of things. I'm going to agree with Tonya. I will. We're going to, and Care said that we'd have another talk about 6 months out so I guess that'll be, she reminded me that my 2-year mark is September of next year. So whatever 6 months is before that. So August, July, June, May, April, March. So I guess March. Gosh, that makes it sound a lot closer. I like the idea of March. Oops, LOL, I should, yeah. Tonya says her birthday is November at the end, so it's harder to go outside. True. Stellar's got a nice idea, too. Oh, wow. Please pray for me. I'm trying to get funding to buy a house. Woo! That's cool. Very exciting. Stellar Piper says that's a good plan. If Hubs has to work, I'll probably go get my hair done and a tattoo or something like that. You never answered me if those things hurt to get. Tanya's saying she can handle medical needles, but tattoo needles scare her. Prayer sent. Those bags are cute. Weren't they, though? I may have found my next travel bag. Whoops. That's okay. I have metal in my left foot and can at times set off a metal detector. That's why if you fly, I strongly suggest that anybody who needs a little help going through the TSA checkpoints, go ahead and arrange for a TSA program specialist. They can walk you through the entire checkpoint and they will hand wand you. They'll take you off to the side and do all that sort. And since they know what the brace is with me, I just had to lift up my pants a little bit and so they could see it, well, to the top of the brace. And then they hand wanded me. They were awesome. Stellar got a small crossbody from Amazon for $15. Government grant for here in Missouri. That'll be great. It doesn't charge her phone. Yeah, they're nice. They're nice. $5 backpack from Walmart and a little luggage lock is what she uses. All that matters is that it works. Keep us posted, absolutely. Candy took great care of me years ago when my scooter broke down in 100 degrees. I called 911 and Candy stayed calm with all the firefighters around me. They lifted me into the apartment van while a firefighter held Candy. They said they never saw such a quiet chihuahua. Well, that's because not only is she quiet, but she's been trained. She knows when to bark and when not to. I've not gotten a tat yet, but I feel that they would hurt. I do too. It depends on where your body get it also. Yeah. Hey, hi over 50. Woo! The supreme multitasker. Thank you for stopping in, and even while you're multitasking. I appreciate that. I try to do the same with you too. Stellar says, Candy, one of my seminary classmates, had their scooter battery die after her evening class. I can't imagine 100-degree weather in that situation. I'm glad Candy helped. I don't see why, and I'll have to have a conversation, I think, with hubby about this, but I don't see why you couldn't put like some sort of solar thing on the battery just to kind of help keep it topped up. It may be so huge you can't. I don't know, but it looks like, if you could have a solar battery pack to charge your phone, then surely to goodness they make one that would help for a scooter. I'm going to have to ask him about that. Let's see. Tanya says, I applied for a lot of grants for my home and my 2 business ideas. I hope you get those off the ground soon because I know you're going to be pins and needles. And now soon is, in my way of thinking, is not necessarily in like a couple of weeks, but maybe 6 months or a year because it takes time to get those grants cycle through and the applications and the check written and things like that. How do they check the service dog TSA? I don't know exactly how, because I didn't have Tomlin then. I flew after he had passed away. But it's my understanding that with a program specialist, they know more about working with people and service dogs, and they know not to separate you. And with me, what they did was I called and they met me at the start of the line, and then we walked over to the side, so well out of the way. So I am assuming that if I'd had a service dog, if he'd had him with me, that he would have been off to the side with a specially trained person. Because they even had, like, I have a lot of medications, and I was worried about that. But when we called and set it up, we told them. And so my TSA program specialist was also a medication specialist. So, yeah. But that's a question that you'd have to ask the TSA. Yeah. Let's see. Candy's saying she ties her purse around the scooter handle. If someone would try to grab my bag, Candy would bark nonstop until they left. And that's the advantage, I think, of having a service dog, one of them, especially when you're traveling, because you need a little extra security. And, we're talking about, not necessarily driving to Alaska like I've done, or driving across the country like I've done, but, even traveling into like the other side of town and so forth, it's nice. And I feel like when I was at the slug bug, spray painting the bugs, kind of like Cadillac Ranch, except for beetles, for bugs, I kind of felt like I probably wouldn't have been approached by the person trying to sell me marijuana if I had had my 90-pound service dog with me. Nobody ever did stuff like that when I had my dog. Now, let's see. Tonya said she had to call an ambulance after she fell in December and broke bones, and my foot archer was too big to fit in the ambulance. I was much more stressed out due to that. That would be a really hard situation. And Candy said she needed a new scooter because the motor died, not the battery. Yeah. Stellar says, I don't think a solar battery pack would have helped my friend a whole lot since her classes were inside, but might be a good idea for Candy. And you never know if there's not an outlet. She could be outside for a little while studying or something. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? It was just a thought. There ought to be something. There just ought to be. Tanya's hoping for a year for her house grants. Candy said, yes, Tonya. Iron Firehorse. Hi, Irene. How are you? Welcome tonight. Oh, Candy had her scooter for 10 years. That's a good time to change. Candy, I feel like that's 80 in people years. Yep. Can't get away from people. I heard somebody the other day that was talking about people, and I don't remember where she'd gone. It was kind of a crowded area. And she posted on Facebook. She's like, it's too people-y for me today. And I knew exactly what she was talking about, and I love that. So I'm going to be integrating that into my vocabulary. And I've got something that probably is a year away that I'm excited about. So I'll tell you all about that in a minute too. I know several drug dealers who have service dogs. No! That makes me sad for the dogs and nervous for everybody around them. Okay, we'll see you in a few minutes. They're the only people I know who can afford them. They cost like 10 times as much up here for some reason. Well, I'll be honest with you. I looked at some places that were incredibly expensive, and they tell you that you're actually not paying for the dog. You're paying for the training. But some places wanted like $16,000 and $20,000, and there's just no way, like none, that I could do something like that. So I kept calling around. I found one place that wanted 12,000, then I started looking in prison-based programs. One of the names that popped up was CARES, and I found an online review somewhere, and the person was very happy with their dogs. So it was really kind of amazing the way it all came together, because when I mentioned it online, there was Tonya talking about where she'd gotten her dog trained, which was CARES, and I just read about it. And then when we did over in our Bodacious Facebook group, Kay from Happy Trails Hiking is also doing Pampered Chef. She was like, I really want to do a fundraiser for you. I want to help. And by the way, where are you getting your service dog? Well, come to find out, she knows one of the trainers at this organization. So it was really, yeah, I just felt like everything was coming together there. But some of them are just, you just can't do that. It's just, and the answer is fundraising, but how do you fundraise $16,000 or $20,000, So, but yeah, it's crazy. And I understand that for kids 18 and under certain circumstances, some state Medicaid groups will cover it. So I heard that the other day. I have not personally checked into it because I don't have a kid under the age of 18 in my life right now. But I thought that was a great thing. So let's see. Candy is so loud when she barks. People who come and knock on my door and hear Candy bark, then when I open the door, they're surprised how little she is. They are just older disabled women, look just like you without the hat. Hey, you got to have the hat. Let's see. Iron, they're not cheap down here either. I didn't even want to think about prices higher than that. Wow. I can't even think about $40,000 because, like, here, even the police canines, they're like, some of those are like 25 and 30. So I can't, but that's a very specialized, but I can't even imagine that. But there may be more people training them down here too. I don't know. Wow. Go back into this. Tonya says she's back. So welcome back. And that's part of why I've been selling the jewelry too. I mean, trying to make money to get this done. And I'm going to be doing a live stream too or maybe not a live stream. I may do videos. I'm still kind of on the fence, but somebody took me to task and said, hey, you're redoing your van. You go to Alaska, you go places, and how can you dare ask for help for a service dog when you're spending thousands and hundreds of thousands doing these things? And the answer is I'm not. But and I just talked a few minutes ago about this last trip and the things that were free, but it was to go out and see my daughter. So, yeah. So I'll either be doing a live stream or some videos on that after I get this next batch of travel videos done. And I do have a video that I'm working on about the medical thing that I've got coming up. So I'll talk to you about that. Candy says in Cincinnati, the average is $20,000 to $25,000. Also, many wouldn't train for psychiatric service dogs, which I needed, as well as medical. Wow. Are there any prison-based systems that you could look at for training? Iron 2 days, that's impressive. Let me go back up to that. She said she got the cash in 2 days for that fundraiser. That's cool. That is impressive. Iron saying wealthy crowd. But sometimes the wealthy crowds are not the ones that necessarily help as much with fundraising as you would hope. You just never know. But I'm glad that happened and it worked out. And Tanya is saying one of the reasons why I like that company cares is because they do multiple disabilities training, and I desperately needed that. Yeah. And I also liked that we're able to keep our service dogs, and not every agency will let you do that. Sometimes they want you to turn them back in at like age 7 or so. That just seems to be a common number. Not everybody's got their own different numbers, which I get that. But after you get your service dog and you've had the service dog and the service dog is trained for you and it's bonded with you, then, the whole idea of, giving it up, just no, just no. So I really like that Cares will eventually give you ownership of the dog after a while. I think they said a year. Does that match with your experience, Tanya? Speaking of jewelry, I need an updated jewelry total, please. Okay, I'll get that for you, but I need to talk to you about the bracelet and kind of what you want and how you want it done. So I'll message you about that. Probably later tonight. Candy says in Cincinnati, they will train for multiple tasks, but not psychiatric. His parents probably could have paid cash. Wow. Anything for a, quote, community event for that crowd. Now, if you can get them in a crowd where they can like see and be seen tossing in money, that will help. Are you doing more $40 day trips? Love those. Yeah, I'm going to. I've got some medical things, and I'm probably going to build into those a couple of $40 day trips. We'll see. I'll probably use that as a jumping off point to show you how to do it. But we're going to see. I'm definitely going to do what videos I can as far as this last trip that we went through, because we saw some really neat things that I want to show you. But yeah, I'm going to try to, but probably, it's not going to be until after I get this series done. And like I said, I've got some medical things coming up, but I'll tell you about those in a minute. But yeah, it's on the list to do, but later. So let's see. Iron Fire Horse says, too bad they wouldn't get together to get a service dog for a kid that really need it. We have many kids that need them. Yeah, and it's really hard, especially with kids. Tony says she did have to wait over a year for the ownership papers, however, and that I didn't like. Yeah, I think she said on the phone yesterday that a year, but I guess there's always, like, maybe that's a general idea, but at least, we get to keep the dog at some point. Busy Lady's here. She's stuffing her face. She loves the $40 day trips also. She needs one. Okay. I'll get to that. Bless you, Irene. Bless you. Now, she's saying that she played a bunch of my playlists this week. That is also tremendously helpful because, there's ad revenue and watch time, and you have to have 4,000 hours of watch time before YouTube will monetize you. And obviously, if you lose monetization, or if I lose monetization, I'm not going to raise money for the service dog. So that is a tremendous help. So thank you hugely. Let's see. Tanya says, I'll have you get a paper you write notarized saying that you want what to happen if you pass away with the dog. So you might want to get that written out and notarized and take it with you. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I've already talked to someone who is going through the program to be notarized. Listen to me. To be a notary, so she can notarize. And she said she'd take care of that for me. So also I found out my credit union will do it. So a couple of options there. So I'm already looking at that. I already have my plan worked out of what I want to do. And so, yeah, I'm definitely having it done and taking it with me. $40 day trip. That's a trip to the doctors, and it breaks me every month. Yeah, it can be challenging. Sometimes you can work extra things into that trip to the doctor, like parks, museums that are free, things like that. So that's what I do, and I'll probably do a video on it. Here in Ohio, there are no prisons that train service dogs. I belong to the service dog group in Ohio that we help train our own psychiatric service dogs. And that's valid too. Yep, iron me as well. It's my goal to run all of your playlists, LOL. I get obsessed at times. Well, I just appreciate it. Even if like you're running them in the background while you're doing chores and stuff, it helps. And Tanya's saying, hit that button for our hostess. So, yes, I appreciate that. And I see that my question here in the chat was, did you click like? And 90% of you all said you did. So, thank you. And I'm ending that poll too right now. So, but thank you. Iron's got huge thumbs up. Thanks. Tonya says, Iron, I've got a few new videos out if y'all want to check them out. Do that. And I'm going to do the same with you, Tonya, about streaming. Nothing free here is worth looking at. I'm sorry. Good idea, Iron. Good job. She is. That's what I was doing, listening while I did things. I really appreciate that. I really do, because I don't know what's going on with my channel. YouTube says I'm not shadow banned, that shadow ban doesn't exist, but my traffic is like way down. So that is a big help. Let's see. Library will do it as well. Okay. Going to Kroger. Anybody want some footage of that? Well, don't laugh, but maybe, because like I don't have a Kroger anywhere near me. And for me personally, one thing I like to do, like when I am traveling, I buy groceries here, I buy groceries on the road. So I like to know what kind of grocery store I'm going to. I am at least familiar with Kroger's, but I walked in and there was this massive Kroger in Alaska, and they were selling even clothes and stuff. And it was a Kroger / Fred Meyer or something like that. And I wasn't familiar with that. So it's cool. So yeah, maybe. You never know. I was watching your videos the other day, Tonya. Okay. Tonya says, talk to your vet and ask if he has something over the counter you could take with you in case the dog gets stressed out and has diarrhea. A lot of ones in her class did. Okay. I actually have done that. Also, my younger daughter is a vet tech, so she has given me this long list of things to take, and I need to talk to the vet about that ahead of time. And one thing about my vet is I can make an appointment with her right before I get the service dog and find out exactly what I need, and then to take with me. And then our big plan is to get the service dog, do whatever they tell me to do, and then take service dog directly to the vet that is going to be seeing future doggo. So that's what we've got worked out. But obviously, I have 2,000 plus other things to work out first, and then the cost of travel and all that. So yeah. Let's see. Candy says, I have friends, family in my church, not only to take care of Candy, but will make sure she is kept as a service dog to keep her from separation anxiety in case of passing away. It's a good idea. Oh, now Stellar's got a good idea too about doing a Kroger couponing video. I need some tips. Last week only saved like 13%. Gotcha. And see, I didn't know. And it was really neat to be able to walk into that store in Alaska and get hit with all of this, because, I got to spend some time walking around, becoming familiar with that kind of concept for that store. And I was even able to get, and okay, this is kind of boring, but for me, it was like the coolest thing ever. But they sold foam that I got to use in the camper van as part of my mattress. So I got an extra layer, which I had definitely wanted, but I didn't know Kroger did stuff like that. So yeah, I like seeing what others buy. Me too. Iron's never heard of Kroger's. I don't know. Like when I never remember seeing one in Canada. No, sometimes they get into things and eat stuff they're not supposed to. Yeah, Archer was ill. Yeah, I've been told to take alcohol pads and hydrogen peroxide and something for diarrhea. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, the vet will help me pack this kit. Still want to up her savings game. Sure. Favorite place coupons, Dollar General. But there is one here, but it isn't as good as the one I had in Florida. I'll try to get some trips together, though. Okay, good. Oh, bless his heart. That's exactly our plan. Had to call my vet from Concordia. Okay. Yeah, we've even talked about, because we're going to put him on the Banfield plan, which is just a fabulous plan for us. It just works out great. But I've thought about setting him up on the plan there and then going ahead and bringing him to the vet. So if we have any little thing that comes up that I think he's sick in the slightest, we may have him seen there. I don't know. But we're going to make an appointment. They said if I call a week before I get him, they should be able to work something out. Because I told them it's going to be last minute, probably before I know what class I'm in. And so they said if I would call a week ahead of time, they could probably work something out with the vet that I want him to see. So that was a bad thing from CARES. Yeah. Mad was feral, living with raccoons and drinking out of the river. Ouch. Max, okay. That poor guy. DG has general good deals. I do have a pretty good Dollar Tree, though. Dollar Tree will take coupons. I've loved that about the Dollar Tree. I got some coupons for the same size toothpaste that they had at the Dollar Tree, and they were like $1 off. I kid you not. So I wound up getting like 6 packages of toothpaste one time for Mission baskets for free. Loved it. Sometimes you get a better price online and they ship to the store. Yep. And Iron says, I caught him hanging out with a raccoon a couple of nights ago. He thinks he's a raccoon and the raccoons seem to as well. LOL. Wow. That would actually worry me here because here raccoons are major rabies carriers. That and skunks. Feral cat, not a rescued stray. Okay. Bunny Max has a sense of humor. Love Dollar Tree also. Kroger originated in Cincinnati by Barney Kroger. He started out with a small open stand market to a mega market. They own Market Basket and some other smaller chain stores throughout the U.S. See, I've never heard of Market Basket either. So it might be really cool to see a video on that if somebody goes by a Market Basket. So, alrighty. Okay, I'm going to sign off here in about 6 minutes at 8:30, but I'm going to tell you my health thing, and then did I talk to you all about my career change coming up? If I did, I don't want to bore you again, but if I didn't, I'll show you that. Or actually, I'll just tell you about that over in the Bodacious Facebook group. I think I'll do that. So it's interesting. You can order online at Dollar Tree. I'm going to bulk order some craft supplies from the Dollar Tree. That's a good way to go. He's a really special cat, LOL, so I took him in, Tonya Lambert. That's awesome. We all need a special fuzzy. We just do. He did. that was like the best place to buy toys. Love to hear, Gail. Okay. But I will say that I did notice in Canada that our Dollar Tree that we have here actually says Dollar Tree in Canada, but then also on the sign, there's this big sign that said $1.25. So anyway, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. So, all right, you all. Got this little health thing coming up. So keep me in prayer. I know, yeah, basically what happened was I went for my annual mammogram to get the girls checked out, and it didn't go as I had wanted it to. So they did that, and they did an ultrasound. I've got an MRI coming up on Thursday, and it's at 7:30 in the morning. And the problem is I'm 3 hours away, so we are going to take the RV down and spend the night. So let's hear it for Walmart parking lots and Sam parking lots and so forth. Their plan is to go down the night before, spend the night, and then go have the MRI done, because the MRI is at 7:30. But I have to be there at 7 to check in. So it's like twitchy on that. And then I've got the biopsy scheduled for the next week, which the person setting up the MRI appointment says I may or may not need, but they've already got me scheduled just in case, and we'll know more after the doctor looks at the MRI results. But they talked like I was going to need it when I was in there. In fact, she said that nothing is off the table from having it just removed as a little day thing, just in the office, to a full mastectomy. So, we're kind of working through that. And they're also sending me for genetics testing, which is proving to be the most convoluted thing in the whole craziness of this. So I'm going to do a whole video rant on that later. But yeah, okay, we're not having this. Let's see. It looks like I have a troll. Okay. Thanks, Stellar. I started to click the button, but Stellar's on it. Thank you. Thank you. I had to have one once before, but it was in a different part of my breast. It was a needle biopsy, CT guided needle biopsy. It hurt, but it's not. This is a different place, and it's making me twitchy. But anyway, I've also got to go for the genetics testing, and that can. Thank you very much, Irene. Iron Fire Horse is on it. And yes, English only. Maybe some like Spanish or Italian, something that we know a little bit more about, but sorry. But anyway, it's kind of frustrating. My mom actually passed away from breast cancer, and I'm actually older than she was. So little anxiety there, but no matter what, I just want clear results and clear idea of what to do from here. Because it really sounds like, my family history is going to come into play big time. And so that's going to impact what we do ultimately. So, and the process on this genetic stuff is crazy. And then there's, of course, the whole affording this and knowing you're going to come up with a few medical bills that you don't want to do when you're trying to raise money for a service dog. So anyway, that's just to keep you up on that, because it may affect some of the videos that I do. I've got one coming up about that experience, and then of just having the test done. And yeah, so we'll just go from there. But yeah, let's see. Go back into this before I go, which is going to be in just a minute. Because we've blown past our 1 hour mark. And it's been a great live stream with you all. I looked and it was 8:24 and was like, wait a minute, time is gone. But thank you very much, Busy. And thank you, Tonya, for coming in. Iron, thank you for reporting them. Yeah, you are. You are. I remember one night you and Stellar were having this little competition about who was quicker on the draw. Like one of those Western gunfights, except with getting rid of the trash. Too soon to tell, I think. Yeah. Thank you, Busy. Thank you. It's frustrating. Praying for you, Gail, was very scary for me. I had that in December. Okay. It's really frustrating. And part of what's going through my mind is my mom's lump, when they found it, she could feel it. The doctor could feel it, but it didn't want to show up on mammogram. And of course, this is like 1995, so things have come a really long way. But like, it's still in the back of your mind. So, yeah, thank you for praying. My mom just went through that. She said never again. She won't come back. They had her freaked out for nothing. Yeah, the last time it was a cyst, and I'm really hoping this one is too. So, anyway, Candy is excited about Monday. I'm excited about Monday. I hope you all are too. Iron says she has a lump and breast cancer runs in my family, but she quit going to. Supposed to go every 6 months. Haven't been in years. Yeah, my family history is terrible. I got it like on both sides, and I got bunches of related cancers. So what can we do? You know. Yes, Stellar likes to compete. Yep. Bless you too. Time to cook dinner. Figured you guys could bop them while I reported them. Thank you all for all being on it. I gotta say, I had a lump with cyst. Okay. I'm poor. They wouldn't give me proper treatment. Now, I thought Canada had good treatments. That's what I've heard. Anyhow, history makes it scary. My family has a bad history. Yep. I agree with Busy Lady 100,000% too. So, you know, it's just something that, you know, it's scary and it's frustrating, but it's something we have to go through and sometimes, and we just have to take it all one step at a time and one day at a time and try to stay positive. So, all right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go. I'm sorry, Iron. Hopefully, it will all work out well and it won't become anything. But Busy, thank you for coming in, and good night to y'all. So I will see you all on Monday. Hospital staff hate anyone on social assistance. I am so sorry. That's a real. I'm so sorry. But thank you all for coming in. Oh, that's why I have to drive to Toronto. Yeah, I hear you. I have a 3-hour drive, and that's just courtesy of where the good doctors are, plus my insurance. So, but it's, you know, like I said, one thing at a time, one step at a time. So, and that's honestly part of why we got the RV, because I wind up going to Knoxville a couple of times a month. And when you've got appointments at like 7 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. and even 8, and you've got that 3-hour drive, then you're getting up at like 3:30 and 4 to go. So we wound up getting hotels. So now we don't have to. Plus, it's nice with COVID to be contained. So anyway, that's that. It's my little thing there. But anyway, thank you all for coming in. I'll pop a couple of videos up, but we've got that live stream coming up on Monday that I'm super stoked about. I thank you all for your support. Iron, thank you again for running those playlists, and thank you all for your donations, and thank you for being willing to be on Monday. I'm so excited. So see you all at noon on Monday. Take care. Have a great week. And see you Monday. Bye, y'all.